Hey, the Muffin Show here. Today we're asking the question, how good is the Mandrake in Super Owl Pet's new Unicorn Pack? I think that this is a pet that's really slept on by a lot of people. It is the best way to counter a few of the really strong role pets, namely the Chimera and the Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. Although it can also hit some other targets that are not like battle winning, but are still not bad. Here we've got a start with 3 of the toads. I don't remember the exact name. It's like sticky toad or something like that. And a few of the Archimedes beetles. I go ahead and decide to try this format. And we go. Oh, for a second I thought it was the Super Auto Pets. Our enemies are the Super Auto Pots, which is. It's so close. So close to greatness. We do manage to tie, though, which is fantastic. Again, that's all we really care about is tying. It's nice if we can get the win, because this is in Arena, so the goal is to get to the 10 wins. Off that level up, we grab a Griffin. Here I decide I want to try and get the Griffin to higher level. And more importantly, off of that, another level up, we got the Mandrake. Unfortunately, here our Mandrake doesn't activate on their whatever it is, because I believe it's a tier 3, and right now our Mandrake is just tier or level 1, so it can only affect tier 1s and tiers 2s. I do like that the Mandrake seems to preferentially hit the best target, where it will hit a higher tier, higher value pet preferentially. That seems to be the case in all the games that I've ran it. Here it hits the Frostwolf. That wouldn't have made a difference in that fight in particular, but right now whether or not the Mandrake triggers isn't really what's important. Its value is primarily in that there are really strong builds later in the game that it just annihilates. So it can turn it can turn a 4-win run into an 8-win run or a 6-win run, or it basically just, it's not that it's good every time you're in a battle with it, but when it is good, it wins you the battle. And that happens often enough, considering just how good the Loch Ness Monster and Chimera are, that it's worth playing if you get offered it. Here I see the orange salamander thing. It's the pet that benefits off of jump, because whenever pet round if faints does damage, it's essentially like the dart frog. Except it does damage to a random enemy and not the healthiest. Here we negate the fur trout, which, I mean, we end up losing anyway, but it's, again, this isn't really the reason we're playing the Mandrake right now. Don't worry, I know my salamander is in the front right now, but that's just because I haven't repositioned. I'm going to try the money pet, that first pet. I don't remember the name, but after it attacks, it converts 6 mana into 3 gold. So trying to see if I can use that to get an economic advantage this game. This is the funniest way to utilize the Mandrake, negating our opponent's skeleton dog. It's not very good. We still lose the fight there, but it's just funny to know that we just ruined what little scaling our opponent had. I go ahead and I want to make the first pet have a better chance of 1v1 with the opponent's frontmost pet. Here we negate its ability so it doesn't deal damage to two of our pets. And that's good enough that even though our team is not doing very well, the Mandrake is good enough in that fight to get us a draw. Here I grab the other fairy dust. I'm going all in on jump despite not having really any good jump synergy. In hindsight, I really should have grabbed that frog, considering that I need scaling somehow. I need something to scale. So that was certainly a misplay. But we are strong enough to survive another round and get a second victory. This has been a very rough game so far, but hopefully we can just get enough good matchup RNG with go up against teams that get annihilated by the Mandrake. I do level up and sell the Griffin instead of leveling up the Mandrake. The main thing I'm thinking about hitting at this point is the Chimera, which the Mandrake is already high enough level to hit. And we do hit a Chimera. Opponent has a really weird build though that I wonder if they accidentally hit end turn and forgot to reposition their pets because they did not have it positioned to work out well. Because their nine-tailed fox moved the mana off of the Chimera, which was weird. We do get the level 3. We are using the Team Spirit as our only form of scaling. Team Spirit's a fantastic pet. It's very, very strong, especially considering how busted Cyclops is. And we dazed our opponent's like 20 mana Chimera. It's like that's a cool build, buddy. It'd be a real shame if we were to negate the whole point of it. We do get the dazed off on the Phoenix, but our opponent has a lot more stats than we do. We have very few stats, and so even though we get a good dazed target, it's not enough to pull out win there, so we are on lethal. Fortunately, we do get a level up on the Salamander thingamabob, which gets us some more stats, and here I'm really just looking for whatever good foods I can get. The tomato's a great target. off of the cornucopia. The cornucopia is my favorite new food out of the unicorn pack. It's such a creative, fun way to implement, and this is what you run Mandrake for. Look at how strong of a build that opponent had, and how just annihilated. Without the Mandrake, that would have been a loss. That would have been a 4-win run. You never would have seen it on YouTube. But because we had the Mandrake, we just annihilated that player. And even if this run has not been great, I haven't found good scaling or enough strong synergies to team together. The fact that we are having those battles where we just ruin a Chimera player's day is just, it's so satisfying. It's so good. Our orange salamander is actually putting out quite a bit of damage, doing 12 damage every time a pen in front of him dies. It's actually feeling kind of good right now. We, off of the Griffin, got the level 3 behemoth, so that provides some scaling. So we might actually be able to pull it out. Bit of a dud on that cornucopia. Mushroom's not the food that we're really hoping for off of that, but it's potentially quite strong with other pets in the unicorn pack. Like, for example, on the Nessie, it's insane. Oh, and our opponent has just a ton of health. We are dealing a surprising amount of damage, and they're 3 damage off of tying there. I feel like we were just on the verge of turning the corner, but even though this is only a 6-win run, so not too bad, the only reason it was a decent run was because of that Mandrake. There were several battles where it just curb stomped a Chimera player, or did just enough to allow us to draw. So overall consensus are, I guess it's just one person's opinion, but I think it's fair to say that the Mandrake is a severely undervalued pet, that he doesn't help you all the time, but when he does, it feels good. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.